Have you ever wondered how NASA is going to make history by building the first moon base? Well, you're in for an interstellar treat. Join us as we embark on a thrilling journey through the cosmos to uncover NASA's incredible plans, mind-blowing technology, and the cosmic challenges they face. If you're passionate about space, rockets, and lunar exploration, you're in the right place. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on our upcoming videos. Let's dive right in. NASA's Artemis program is creating a buzz globally and igniting fresh enthusiasm for moon exploration. The agency is on the verge of making another history by landing the first woman and next man on the lunar South Pole in 2024, and we are excited to see how they will achieve that. But the excitement doesn't stop there. NASA, along with its ever-expanding team of international collaborators, aims to ensure a lasting human presence on the moon by the end of this decade. NASA's Artemis mission to the moon work has been accelerating to develop long-term solutions to supporting human activity on the lunar surface. Flight testing of the SLS and Orion spacecraft is a huge milestone. But that's just the first in a complex plan to establish the first permanent settlement on the moon. NASA will build on the momentum of that human return mission in 4 years and plans to send a crew to the moon about once per year thereafter. To give astronauts a place to live and work on the moon, the agency's Artemis Base Camp concept includes a modern lunar cabin, a rover, and even a mobile home. Early missions will include short surface stays, but as the base camp evolves, the goal is to allow the crew to stay on the lunar surface for up to 2 months at a time. NASA plans to achieve a second crewed landing on the moon as early as 2027, indicating its commitment to establishing a long-term human presence on the lunar surface. NASA has selected SpaceX to provide the human landing system that will transport Artemis 3 astronauts from Orion in lunar orbit to the surface of the moon and back again. SpaceX plans to use a unique concept of operations to increase the overall efficiency of their lander. After a series of tests, SpaceX will fly at least one uncrewed demo mission that lands Starship on the lunar surface. When Starship has met all of NASA's requirements and high standards for crew safety, it will be ready for its first Artemis mission. On each new trip, astronauts are going to have an increasing level of comfort, with the capabilities to explore and study more of the moon than ever before, said Kathy Luders, Associate Administrator for Human Spaceflight at NASA headquarters in Washington. With more demand for access to the moon, we are developing the technologies to achieve an unprecedented human and robotic presence 240,000 miles from home. Our experience on the moon this decade will prepare us for an even greater adventure in the universe, human exploration of Mars. Before the crew launch, SpaceX will first launch a storage depot into Earth's orbit. This depot will serve as a kind of fuel station in space. Reusable tankers will bring fuel to this depot, which is crucial for powering the human landing system. The uncrewed Starship, which will carry astronauts, will launch into Earth's orbit, meet up with the storage depot to fill up its tanks, and then fire its engines to head toward the moon. This exciting journey will take about 6 days, and it will eventually rendezvous with the Artemis 3 crew. Lunar construction. As NASA continues its exploration under Artemis, it needs new technology to improve infrastructure on the moon. In an effort to meet this need, NASA awarded Icon, an advanced construction technology company best known for 3D printed homes, a $57.2 million contract to develop construction technologies to build infrastructure on the moon, including landing pads, habitats, and roads. The contract goes through 2028. Icon's Olympus system is intended to be a multi-purpose construction system, primarily using local lunar and Martian resources as building materials to further the efforts of NASA, as well as commercial organizations to establish a sustained lunar presence. Icon will use a lunar gravity simulation flight to bring its technology into space. The company will also utilize samples of lunar regolith, a layer of debris covering the moon's surface, to examine their behavior in simulated lunar gravity. This will help inform construction approaches. Icon noted that the technology will help establish the critical infrastructure necessary for a sustainable lunar economy, including eventually longer-term lunar habitation. Landing pads. The design and construction of lunar landing and launch pads rank as a high-priority element of strategic infrastructure to be constructed on the surface of the Moon. To develop civil infrastructure on the Moon and eventually Mars, repeated visits to the same location will be necessary. Landing pads on the Moon would prevent regolith dust from sandblasting other infrastructure at 3 kilometers per second, which would spread over the surface of the Moon and even enter lunar orbit. A landing pad provides a stable zone for a lander's touchdown and would deflect exhaust plumes without excavating a hole under the lander. The Artemis missions will require increased capability over previous Apollo missions for accurate descent and landing systems with greater abilities to detect and avoid hazards, autonomous space landings, and precision landing to a prescribed target on the Moon will present additional challenges unmet in previous spaceflight missions. And the construction of landing pads from in situ resources will mitigate risks posed by frequent and repeated landings to locations close to a lunar outpost. Lunar pipelines. In January 2023, NASA announced a new plan to lay a pipeline on the Moon to the lunar South Pole. Oxygen pipeline would become the first permanent infrastructure to be installed up there. And this would be the first step towards establishing in situ resource utilization. The idea of the pipeline is to transport high-purity oxygen from the production source to a storage plant located near the future Moon base. The pipeline will be constructed robotically from metals from the lunar regolith, though some minimal use of Earth materials would still be needed. It could also be repaired robotically. NASA projects that Artemis will need 10,000 kilograms of oxygen per year initially, and the LSPOP can deliver that with a flow rate of about 2 kilograms per hour. It needs minimal power over its lifetime, would be very reliable, and its lifetime in the lunar environment would exceed 10 years. Lunar rovers. Imagine exploring the Moon in a special vehicle called a pressurized rover. This rover will take lunar exploration to a whole new level. What's cool about it is that it's like a mini spaceship on wheels. It's pressurized, which means astronauts can wear their regular clothes inside, making it way more comfortable. They can drive across the Moon's surface in their mini habitat and explore large areas without their spacesuits. But when they want to go outside to collect samples or set up experiments, they'll need to put their spacesuits back on. NASA is still in the early planning stages for this pressurized rover, thinking of ideas and checking out potential missions around the Moon's South Pole. When it's time to go to the Moon, NASA's spacecraft, Orion, will do something really cool. It will use its engines to get into a special orbit called the Near Rectilinear Halo orbit. This orbit is awesome because it keeps the spacecraft in almost constant contact with Earth, and it's super fuel efficient. It's like the perfect spot to help achieve the long-term goals of NASA's Artemis missions. In the future, NASA and its partners will even build a lunar space station called the Gateway in NRHO. It will be like a hub for all the cool Artemis missions. Lunar spacesuits. NASA awarded Axiom Space $228 million to design and manufacture a new spacesuit system for moonwalking, replacing the previous concept that couldn't be produced at a reasonable price. The new spacesuit, known as the Axiom Extravehicular Mobility Unit, or AXEMU, is way better than the old one. It takes NASA's spacesuit ideas and adds the latest technology, making it more mobile and better at protecting astronauts from moon dangers. Axiom Space is responsible for the design, development, qualification, certification, and production of flight training spacesuits and support equipment, including tools to enable the Artemis 3 mission. The company will test the suit in a space-like environment before the mission. NASA maintains the authority for astronaut training, mission planning, and approval of the service systems. As NASA prepares to send astronauts on an incredible adventure near the lunar South Pole, they're getting ready to wear brand new spacesuits created by Axiom Space. This company was picked by NASA to design the modern spacesuits for the big Artemis 3 mission. The very first prototype of these suits was unveiled during a special event at Space Center Houston in Texas. Artemis 3 is a major mission because it will land astronauts, including the very first woman on the Moon. This mission is all about exploring the Moon for a long time, making amazing scientific discoveries, and inspiring a whole new generation of space explorers. It's an exciting step toward the future. Our voyage to uncover how NASA plans to create the first ever moon base. We've explored the ambitious missions, lunar habitats, and cutting-edge technology that will make it all possible. But this is just the beginning of humanity's exciting lunar adventure. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more fascinating insights into the world of space exploration. Thanks for watching.